Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we got our first look at Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe movie, starring Henry Golding, and Henry Golding Snake Eyes starring Henry Golding.
Do we mention Henry Golding?
Do we mention Henry Golding?
You know how you like Snake Eyes because he's mysterious and wears a hood? Not now, because it's Henry Golding.
He will get his mask eventually. He's holding it.
But even in the photo, he's holding the mask, but he doesn't seem to have any reason to be wearing it.
Yeah.
The rest of my face, bro.
Yeah,
we're gonna. Poster.
Yeah, there we go. He's holding it because that's where Snake Eyes' face belongs.
But thank God they fixed your shit and made it an Asian guy, because don't you know that anybody who can do karate or be a ninja or whatever has to be Asian? Clearly, that's the only way. Otherwise, anything else is racist and stereotyping.
For those of you who are like, oh my God, why are you saying such horrible things about an Asian character? Snake Eyes, canonically, was never Asian. In fact,
that was the point.
That was the point. He was absolutely an outsider. He was blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy in the original comics.
What's the most outsider we can make somebody from the, what's the polar opposite? I know. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed American guy. American guy.
And Snake Eyes, his whole backstory was actually written by an Asian comic book creator.
Yeah, he wanted it that way.
Right. So now it's not to say that in the movie you can't do this to Snake Eyes, but I just think it's so funny that you see these news outlets being like
stereotyping.
Yeah, finally, Snake Eyes is Asian, just like I imagined him. And look, I think this is actually
finally my stereotyping has come true.
Finally, my fanfic. I think this is a reaction to Iron Fist. I honestly.
Oh yeah, because they were all mad, but the character wasn't Asian.
Right.
Either.
Yeah,
so,
I think they were.
That's the point of this. Both of them. It's the same point.
Yeah, and again, it was the same. And look, G.I. Joe and Transformers. Well, we'll talk about this a little bit. G.I. Joe and Transformers borrowed very heavily from the existing Marvel universe. Snake Eyes was very similar to Danny Rand in that regard.
They used to bring the artists and stuff in
to name the characters.
Right.
And Transformers. I mean, look at Transformers the movie. Unicron is basically Galactus in the Death Star. Galvatron is the Silver Surfer. I mean, there's so much that they took from Marvel Comics and they just kind of repurposed it for this toy line. So, I mean, I do think that there was an element of Snake Eyes that might have come from Iron Fist. Again, that blonde-haired, blue-eyed outsider learning how to do ninja stuff and kung fu stuff, and he was still viewed as an outsider. Just a theory. I don't know for sure.
Well, here's the thing. We don't know if it's going to be a bad movie or not. No one's saying it's going to be automatically a bad movie.
Right.
But It was funny in the lead up to this. Was that the takeaway was finally they fixed your shit.
Yes.
I made the white, canonically white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy that was the outsider Asian, because you shouldn't have somebody doing, being a ninja who's not Asian. How very dare you? Stop stereotyping people as we stereotype it all for you. Don't you know all Asians know karate?
Plus Chuck Norris.
No, yeah, but they're just waiting. They have to have time. They're going to replace Chuck Norris. There's going to be a new Chuck Norris, but he's going to be Asian.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. She's going to be Asian.
She is. She's going to be Asian. Yeah.
So, that's what's coming next. But so we also said with this movie that we were going to bet heavily on the fact that it's going to be a origin story.
Yeah.
Because it's G.I. Joe Origins. But we're like, darn well he's going to spend the whole time with running around without his hood on or the mask on because.
You can't say that.
You can't. That's the hood with a mask.
That's why they got rid of the white guy.
Anyway, he's going to run around the whole time without it because you have to know that it's Henry Golding.
Henry Golding starring as Henry. Yeah, okay, so before we get into it any further, we've already
too late.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys.
Hit that like button.
Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button because YouTube, they're doing some stuff, and I want to make sure
Just
you guys
push the button.
Push the button. This is going to go down like the original G.I. Joe movie, The Rise of Cobra, where we had to know it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt was Cobra Commander throughout the whole damn movie, and we actually got to see him as a half-assed Cobra Commander for the last 30 seconds of the movie. Same with Destro. Destro spent the entire movie without his mask. At the very, very end of the movie, they put him in a ridiculous CGI mask.
But they hardly used them at all in the second one.
Yeah, they kept him on ice, you know.
So it was pointless.
Now, Cobra Commander, I will admit, Cobra Commander was better in Retaliation, but wasn't Joseph Gordon-Levitt, because frankly, at that point, you could put anybody under the mask.
Right.
Why pay for Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Why don't we just, keep the integrity of the property? And why can't we just, if you really want to work on these stories because they mean so much to you and you really want to be part of them, why can't we just let the characters be the characters, and the character wears a mask the whole time, the character wears a mask the whole time? You know what I mean? But there's egos that need to be showcased throughout this. Now, they did keep Scarlet a redhead.
Yeah, is this Baroness?
Yeah, it's Baroness.
Oh, look, she's got little cobras on her dress.
Okay, that's kind of cool, actually.
All right.
It's obviously dyed, but she has red hair.
Yeah. Well, until she gets in a horrible accident. And then they
she's no longer white or redhead.
Yeah, she gets a horrible accident, and then they're like, "Well, we had to do plastic surgery. We did the best we could do." And then it's a soap opera moment, and they just take the bandages off. They're like, "Surprise, your Zazie Beetz." Now, sorry about that, but here you go. No, so I think this is we're paying for Henry Golding because now he's.
Right, because don't you know, I just think it's so funny, and I keep joking about this, but the Asian representation in Hollywood seems to be the Crazy Rich Asians cast.
Yes.
Awkwafina is in everything.
She is in everything.
And then, which I like Awkwafina enough.
She's funny.
Henry Golding now is every time you need an Asian lead guy, that's an action guy. It's usually him.
And Dr. Ken.
Well, I was gonna say, what's the guy who played Agent Wu, Fresh Off the Boat guy?
Oh yeah.
Oh, what's his name? Am I blank?
I can't remember, but you know who we're talking about.
I love him.
Fresh Off the Boat guy.
I love him. He's also brought out a lot, but it just seems like he wasn't in Crazy Rich Asians. But I'm just saying, for the most part, it's if you need we need an Asian person, call up the Crazy Rich Asians cast.
Pretty much. And look, again, this is not saying it's going to be a bad movie.
It might be good.
We're not saying that.
Trailer is coming this weekend at the MTV Awards. So we might get, I know, they're really
That's not a very good sign.
No, it's not. But, it could be a good movie. I'm not saying automatically it isn't because he made these changes, because that's not necessarily the case. I just think that, I just can't not laugh at the hypocrisy of you shouldn't stereotype people as we stereotype people all the damn time.
Now the action figures look good. We did, they actually look pretty good. But yeah, I'm telling you, what's going to happen in this movie is he is not going to put the Snake Eyes mask on until the last freaking 10 minutes of the movie.
Well, that is an origin story. So if we're being fair,
that's their cop out is they're like, we're paying for Henry Golding. He's got to have the damn mask off for most of the movie. And then, if we ever do a sequel, we don't have to pay for Henry Golding again because guy doesn't talk and he wears a mask. We can put whoever in the costume.
Watch him, have no reason to wear the mask, and he talks too.
Oh my God, they would do that.
I'm just saying.
They would they would absolutely do that.
But it's all okay. It doesn't matter if it's not the character anymore. He's at least Asian now.
That's all
if they were really progressive, it would be a female Asian actress. It would be Awkwafina.
Why isn't Awkwafina Snake Eyes? Oh, okay. So in the comics, there actually is a female Latina Snake Eyes. I think Snake Eyes I don't really follow the IDW comics that well.
Why am I not surprised? Anyway.
But this was actually written by Larry Hama, who created Snake Eyes, or at least the backstory. Hasbro created him, and he was actually side story. Snake Eyes was created out of spare parts. Snake Eyes, the reason he looked the way he did is that Hasbro didn't want to spend the money on another figure that needed a bunch of paint applications. So they basically took existing parts, made them all black, and said, "Here you go, it's Snake Eyes," except for the mask. That was and
then Snake Eyes ended up being one of the most popular ones.
He was my very first single Joe. I got I did get the clutch with the vamp first, which was the Jeep, the Joe Jeep, the Jeep Joe, G.I. Joe Jeep, and I got that, and then I got Snake Eyes, and then my Snake Eyes got really beat up because I was very young when I got him. All right, and I used to play with him in the sandbox and stuff. So he got really beat up. So I made him join Tiger Force. So Tiger Force was like years later, Hasbro, because they love repaints, they took a bunch of older G.I. Joes and then they put like tiger stripes on them for some reason. And then they had the Cobras, they were the Python Patrol, and they had like snake skin.
It sounds like something that would be in Pig People or Pig Royalty.
Pig, yeah.
Something that she'd be wearing as a fashion statement.
It was kind of weird because I'm like, you're not fooling anybody. You guys are wearing freaking green and orange tiger stripes. But I made Snake Eyes join Tiger Force because he was already beat up. So I went and got some of my model paint and I put tiger stripes on my Snake Eyes. So somebody out there, because we sold a bunch of them on eBay, has my Tiger Force Snake Eyes.
Well, I remember, didn't they have some versions where he came with, like, was it Timberwolf?
Yeah, Timber.
Yeah, Timber, the wolf, yes. And then I remember, one thing I hate about G.I. Joes, and you guys who've had the figures printed, I'm talking about, the damn rubber bands.
The O-rings.
They would snap.
Yes, they did. They would get brittle, and actually a lot of older Joes, like, it doesn't take much. I remember kids used to take them and they would like stretch their Joes.
Yeah, I remember them stretching them, yeah.
You can actually buy replacement O-rings for them, but then the newer ones.
It's really hard to get them on, though.
Yeah, because they have like a hook
There's
on the abdomen.
On each,
and then,
and you have to do it, and it's like really hard. I mean, I think I tried to do it before to fix them because
Squid
King had them. Didn't he break a couple?
He did,
and then we had to try to fix them. Because I remember when he was little, he actually had several G.I. Joes. He had the big carrier too.
He had the head court from the movie. Man,
I was surprised he was really into that because he was for a little while.
I was kind of jealous. It was the pit.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was this big ass. I mean, it was huge, and it took up like
a whole bunch of his room,
quarter of his bedroom, but he had it, and it was from the movie. And the movie toys actually weren't terrible. They were okay. And then they had the 25th anniversary figures out at the same time. So he was into it. I was like, yeah, he likes G.I. Joe. I like G.I. Joe. And then he's kind of like, he just got out of action figures. He wasn't really into them.
He wasn't in it very long, and then he just like didn't really want them. He kind of
Kaiju. He likes Kaiju.
He went to Kaiju and stuff. But anyway, back to the G.I. Joe. Anyway. It's just,
I said anyway.
Anyway, I don't know. We're getting a trailer. Was it Saturday, tomorrow night or Sunday? I can't remember which. I want to say Sunday. We're getting a trailer in that evening and on MTV.
This does not instill any confidence in me, but it's a Paramount thing.
I gotta tell you guys, if it goes anyway, some of the other G.I. Joe films have gone. I'm not expecting much at all.
Despite Snake Eyes being known as a character that lives inside his iconic helmet.
Oh, here we go, yes!
The new film plans to take full advantage of Golding's good looks by featuring plenty of scenes with him outside the mask.
Called it. We told you they were going to do this.
Oh, here we go. I wanted to see something different. I wanted it to look different, to feel different, Golding says.
I wouldn't agree to do it unless it let me have my face on all the time.
This is what they did with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Mm-hmm. They're like, and everybody's like, how come his mask always gets messed up? He always either has to take his mask off or gets ripped to shreds because it was probably in his contract that he had to be unmasked for most of the movie. And he only had a couple minutes. I mean, you look at the Spider-Man movies, there's probably only 5 minutes in each one of those movies where he had the Spider-Man mask on fully, and that was usually the bad CG. But to be able to launch a franchise was just too good to be true, and especially with a character like Snake Eyes, about whom a lot of people don't know too much.
Wanna bet?
They know him as this insane operator that completes missions as an absolute weapon, but who's the guy behind the mask and what's the story? Well, it's not the one they're probably going to tell.
No.
It actually involved...
Part of the reason people liked him, because they didn't, I mean, you knew his story, but it wasn't like, you didn't have to know every thought, every feeling, every word he had to utter.
His face looks like hamburger.
Right. But, that all changes because we got to make sure we see Henry Golding's face and hear him talk.
Oh, God. Both Cobra and G.I. Joe take a back seat to the internal drama.
Oh, God.
They're absolutely an element, but it's looking at it this way. You meet somebody, watch their struggle, and the struggle leads to the world of G.I. Joe and Cobra.
Well, I mean, to me, that makes sense in this instance.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, look.
Even him not wearing the mask most of the movie makes sense in this instance. I just thought it was funny because we totally called that the whole time.
Oh, yeah. And it's just a reason for Golding to run around with that mask on. And yeah, so this is a Storm Shadow, I take it. Yeah. So actually, I thought the Storm Shadow, I can't remember his name. He was a big actor overseas, but he was actually really good. I thought Storm Shadow in the other G.I. Joe movies was actually one of the best parts. But he was without his mask for a lot of the movie too.
That's what I'm saying. What's going on is these actors have these egos and they want to have their face on there. So my thing is it's not even about the actual property. Mm-hmm. It's if they really cared about the characters and the property and they wanted to keep it authentic, they would keep it authentic. But they don't because you better see my face.
She better have an accent this time.
She looks like she would. I mean, not trying to be like that, but the way they have, no, look, the way they have her,
You look like you would have an
the way her
accent.
lip is and the way they have her look, I just think they would give her one.
She needs to have an accent. I had a really hard time with, was it Sienna Miller? Was that her name? Mm-hmm. Played Baroness in the original, and she sounded like she came from the Midwest. And I'm like, no, that's not Baroness.
No, I think they would with her. She looks like, I don't know, it just gives me the vibe that she would do that. She would have an accent.
Yeah.
It sounds, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. As long as she's a badass. I don't know, guys. This is one of those movies where I have zero expectations. The first two Joe movies were horrible and less horrible, but they were still both pretty horrible. And
anyway, so I mean, I'm hoping it's good, but I'm not holding out much hope for this one. But maybe I'll be surprised. You're just like, no.
I don't care. The figures look pretty good.
I guess my takeaway, this still amuses me so much about the Hollywood, and they're yelling at everybody about oh, you're stereotyping people, and you stereotype, and how dare you, because you're stereotyping, and you're istophobic stereotypers, and then they turn around and...
Yeah, I guarantee you this is because of Iron Fist and all this backlash.
I've heard comments, along that line.
Yeah, I would be willing to bet money on that, because there was a lot, they're like, why can't you just change, Danny Rand or whatever? It's like that technically you could, but you're adapting an existing property. So, but we don't give a shit now. We're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
All right, guys. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye.